What's up, guys? Welcome to Eating Dubs Fantasy Sports. In this video, I'm going to be covering Jonathan Taylor in this player profiler. The player profiler series is essentially my little 4 or 5 minute analysis on the kind of the top 25 fantasy players heading into the 2022 season. And this one's going to be on Jonathan Taylor. So let's just hop right on into it, and we're going to start at the player profiler on playerprofiler.com. And we're just going to look at some of his metrics and stuff. But Jonathan Taylor, I think, is young enough where some of these metrics still still matter a little bit. I mean, they always do matter, but I think situationally in the NFL things change, and looking at college stats might not be that might not be that appropriate or whatever. So Jonathan Taylor, I mean, we know the dude is an absolute beast. 99th percentile in speed, 40-yard dash, agility. I mean, he's across the board. He's a fantastic athlete, and we've seen it on the field. So I think that's more important than even what the stat sheet might say. I think it's funny that he's actually compared to Ezekiel Elliott. I feel like he's faster, but I guess Zeke was that fast coming out of Ohio State. I didn't know. I mean, I forgot, I suppose. So Jonathan Taylor, let's look at some of his stats last couple of seasons. So 2021, he was the RB1, as you guys know. He did it mostly off the back of a fantastic rushing yard and total touchdown benchmark. So dude had 332 attempts with 1.8K rush yards, only 40 receptions, and I think 2 receiving touchdowns and 18 rushing touchdowns to come with a total of 20. So he was the RB1. And heading into 2022, let's look at the little analysis. I have this Excel sheet where I'm just working down the rankings and doing my little analysis on each player. So Jonathan Taylor is the guy that we'll be focusing on. So he's the RB for Indy, as you guys know. He's 23 years old and he has no injury history. So that's fantastic news. That's what you want in a guy who could potentially be an RB1. I think most RB1s are no more than 26, 27 years old. And that's, I think, even in the top 12. The top 12 RBs, you rarely see ones go over about 26 years old. So youth, that's what you want. 2.3 receptions per game is pretty low. But him and Derrick Henry have now done it in consecutive seasons with pretty low receiving numbers and not being kind of like the dual threat receiving guy. Matt Ryan is now in town. He's replaced Carson Wentz. That's kind of a wash, in my opinion. They are a little bit different. Carson Wentz still had a little bit of mobility in the pocket, can still get out of the pocket, make plays. He could still kind of throw the ball downfield a little bit, but Carson Wentz very often could not find the men or the wide open wide receivers down the field. He very often did not check down when he should have. And we'll see if Matt Ryan can be a little more smarter, be more of a game manager, and that could mean more dump offs. That could also benefit Nyheim Hines, but we're hoping that it benefits Taylor. So the division is kind of weak, except for the Titans. And even the Titans, they're not really like a powerhouse defense, so I'm not too worried about them. I mean, those games tend to be pretty high scoring affairs, those divisional games. So division for the most part's weak. Jaguars offense should improve, which means even more high scoring games, more production, more possessions. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens in that division. But my hypothesis is that the division is not going to be one of the better ones. And I think that's not a stretch. It's not a super hot take. So some of the cons, there aren't many. He finished as the RB1, but it was one of the lowest RB1 finishes since 2015. I forget exactly what his total points were, but we've seen guys like Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara just put up like crazy freakish numbers because they were dual threat guys. They would, get Alvin Kamara was getting 80 receptions, 5 touchdowns from the air, and then another 15 on the ground and stuff like that. And then Christian McCaffrey, don't need to even talk about him. He's an absolute beast. He was getting 450 fantasy points on the season. But anyway, yeah, a pretty weak RB1 finish. So can he repeat that? I mean, when you're drafting running backs in the top 3 or even at, the number 1 draft pick, you want to try to minimize the chance they aren't the RB1 or maximize the chance they are, rather. And just another one, just to skip this middle one, is that the last time an RB1 finished as the RB1 twice in a row was Priest Holmes in 2002. So it might not mean much. It's historical data. Historical data are only indicators for future performance. Or not even indicators. They're just guiding lights or whatever you want to call beacons to help us, help us try to predict future performance. But in any case, the wide receiver room in Indy is pretty weak at the moment. The quarterback is not very strong, or it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. So having an unbalanced or a decrepit offense is always going to be bad if you're a running back. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to say that as if it's a fact, but I just prefer to have guys on good offenses with good quarterbacks who could spread the ball. Yes, when you have a good quarterback and good receivers, that takes away scoring opportunities from you. But I think in the end, it averages out, and just having a better offense is just a nice thing. I just want my running back to not be losing by 20 points to get benched. But in any case, guys, that is my player profile on Jonathan Taylor. Not super hard-hitting analysis, but he's going to be great. Draft him with confidence, and if he's my RB1, I will be very much happy. So if you like these videos, head to the channel. There's a playlist, player profiles. I'm going to be doing these profiles throughout the off season, and then yeah, if you guys like, subscribe. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know what you think, or if there's anything I should change, and catch you guys on the next one. Peace.